What comes to mind when I say the order of love? I want you to give it a moment's thought, and I want you to think about, what does that mean? The order of love. And no answer's wrong. I'd love to hear if somebody's brave enough to tell me what you think. What do you think the order of love is? What does that mean? Completely mysterious? Okay, good. Then I have something to share with you. Nothing. Okay. Well, what I'm talking about here is there is an order to love. In order to love well, there is an order to love. Let's start with the 2 commandments. Most of us are familiar with the 10 commandments. But when Jesus was asked in the book of Matthew, which was the greatest, well, he wasn't asked in the book of Matthew, but you know what I mean. This was his reply. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment. And the second is like it. Love your neighbor as yourself. These 2 greatest commandments can be boiled down to love God and love others. So how do we love God? We recognize and acknowledge who he is. Our creator, beginning and the end, all present, all knowing, one, is, was, and ever shall be. It could go on and on and on. But we seek to know him through the Bible, prayer, church attendance, studies, personal devotion time. And we acknowledge him as the one who first loved us. That's a really foundational part of loving God, is knowing and accepting that he loves us. In 1 John 4:8, it says God is love. The way his love is described for us is unfailing, sacrificial. He sent his son to die for us. He rejoices over us with singing. It's very moving to me. His love is lavish. He calls us his children. His love is poured out over us. God's love is perfect, everlasting, enduring. So we've established the first order of love is love God. The second order of love is love others. How do we love others? Well, I've just described how God loves us, and we're called to love others just as he loved us, as much as we're able in our humanity. We love others by being patient, kind, honoring, protecting others, by valuing others above ourselves. Here's the tough one. Loving our enemies and praying for those who persecute us, says Matthew. By forgiving, again, by loving God. So as we get to know God, it's like plugging into a love outlet. Knowing God, loving God, and accepting God's love for us is a power source for loving others. Now we've got the big picture of love. Love God, number 1. Love others, number 2. We're going to break down the order of loving others into a couple of smaller pieces. In the busyness of raising children, we can lose the critical connection between ourselves and our spouses. Our love can come out of order. If we're a married couple, the first order of loving others is loving one another. It's easy to get this order mixed up. Raising kids can be all-consuming, physically, emotionally, mentally. If we allow our kids to be our only connection in marriage, we will lose our vital connection. Let's not forget, in marriage, there's the one flesh relationship. 2 become one. We are intimately connected. There is no other relationship like this. And while our kids are, of course, tremendously important, and building secure, loving, attentive relationships with them is a priority too, the first priority is one another. So amidst the feeding, caring, dressing, guiding, teaching of these little people, it can be easy to give them so much of our time and energy that there's nothing left for each other. But the reality is, our children are not ours. They are on loan to us from their Creator. Our job is to love and nurture them until it is time for the inevitable leaving of our nest. That day may seem very far off to all of you right now, but I can tell you for sure the time will come. And when that time comes, you want to make sure you have a secure and loving marriage that will continue way after your children have flown the coop. Ask me how I know. About 20 years ago, my 3 girls were 15, 13, and 8. I had a taste of what it was like to release a child into the big wide world. My stepdaughter was 11 years older than my other girls, and she hadn't come back after college. She ended up living in Philly. I was still a busy mom in the thick of raising my kids, but I knew what was coming in a matter of just a few years. Perhaps I was grieving a bit prematurely, which I tend to do, but I remember having a wistful conversation with my dad, and he was such a wise man with experience and insight on his side. He said to me, "I understand, Elise, it can be hard to face a new stage of life. And while you still have time, it does go fast. But this is what you raise your children for, to become adults who can care for themselves and carve out a life of their own." I said to him, "I just can't imagine my life without them. I mean, this is what I looked forward to as long as I can remember. And now I can see the end in sight," I replied, tears falling down my cheeks. My kids have only been flown and grown for 10 years, and I still am moved by that reality. My dad squeezed my hand, and he said, "It's okay to be sad, but don't be so sad that you miss what's right in front of you. And you've got a good husband, don't forget that." I said, "I know, he's a good man, and I do look forward to having more time with him someday." "How is your marriage, by the way?" he said. "Well, fine," I replied. We're both so busy, sometimes with ships passing in the night." And he said to me, "Make sure you're staying connected, talking, doing some things together. Your marriage can't always be on the back burner until the kids are grown. You're very busy with the kids and with your girlfriends too." Dad gave me a knowing look. "Oh, I know, we're okay, Dad, don't worry." But there was a little sense of conviction that had planted its way into my heart. Dad gave me food for thought that afternoon. I went home and couldn't quite shake the conversation. I wanted my marriage to last forever, and I didn't want just a good marriage. I wanted a great marriage, at least some of the time. I had a few older friends with grown kids, and some of them said that without the kids between them, they didn't have much in common anymore. They were dissatisfied with their relationship, and some of them even divorced. These were just the wake-up calls I needed. I decided to have a heart-to-heart with my hubby, and we both agreed we could do better. We wanted to be that couple who went for a walk hand in hand. We wanted to enjoy one another on a trip or out for a bite to eat. We didn't want to be one of the couples we've often seen who sit silent across from each other at a beautiful candlelit meal, looking like they barely know each other. We both wanted more warmth and connection. We wanted a relationship that kept growing and evolving. But how can we have this kind of satisfying marriage when there's so much pulling at our limited time and energy, and when we're so dang tired? Well, here are 5 things to consider. 1, evaluate your relationship honestly, ideally together. Are your kids a higher priority than your spouse? Have you put each other at the bottom of your priority lists? Have you made time for each other? Remember, you will never find time. You have to make time. Do you discover yourself thinking, "You really should go out on a date. I know we should talk about fill in the blank. I'm so tired." Or even, "My kids touch and need me all day long. The last thing I want at night is my husband touching me." 2, start small. If you have not had much connection or many conversations one-on-one in a very long time, don't set a goal of going off on a trip together. Start with something really simple, like taking just 5 minutes to talk. Chris and I used to do what was called Take 5. I have to stop myself from looking at Suzanne since she helped us navigate every bit of our marriage. But anyway, Take 5. We would set aside just 5 minutes before getting ready for bed, not when you're in bed, but just before bed, for one partner to just talk, and the other partner would just listen. And then we'd make a date for a few days later for the other partner to talk for 5 minutes and that other partner to just listen. Just try this one time, and then maybe see if you can incorporate this one time a week. And you may be surprised that you are actually not getting to this little concentrated time of conversation. I highly encourage it. Okay, so another one is, do make a plan for a date night. You don't have to break the bank to have a nice time together. So if finances are tight, don't let that stop you. Weather permitting, take a walk together. Add in a stop at a local coffee shop or cafe. Take a drive together in a scenic area nearby, or not scenic area nearby. Consider swapping kids with a friend or family member if getting a babysitter is a challenge. Your turn one week, their turn another week. Number 4, schedule sex. I know this can sound so unromantic, but when my husband and I found we were just not getting to this intimate physical act that we both wanted to enjoy and felt was important, knew was important in building intimacy, we decided to schedule it on a calendar. This little calendar was hidden inside a cabinet in our bedroom, and it was our cue that it was time to make love. It was kind of fun to have this little secret between us, reminding us to rendezvous, like the kids would see. Well, what's a calendar? But we did not tell them. Number 5, talk to a counselor. We just happen to have one here who will be speaking next, and I happen to know her very well. If you find yourselves unable to bridge the gap between you and your husband, brought on by having children, if you can't seem to make the connection with one another, or if you don't see the logic in making sure you're getting to your relationship before your relationship with your children, please talk to a professional. There's no shame in this, and in fact, it is truly one of the wisest decisions my husband and I ever made. I'm sure that it is one of the reasons that we've been married for 39 years. It helped us ensure our marriage lasts long after our kids have grown, till death do us part. That's the goal, right? Here's a bonus tip. Agree to set aside time to talk intentionally with one rule. You can't talk about the kids. This is a challenge. If you feel out of practice when it comes to talking easily with your husband about anything other than your kids, get some prompts. I found some at marriagemissions.com. And there's also, if you just Google, there's a really good PDF called 36 Questions That Lead to Love. And you can just, as I say, Google it, you'll find it. It's on a site called preparingtolove.com. Okay. Or make a bit of a game of it and kind of challenge each other. One week, you come up with a question. The next week, your spouse comes up with a question. Excuse me. The divorce rate in our country is between 40 and 50%. Despite all of our resources, we have the 3rd highest rate of divorce in the world. And while the overall divorce rate is falling, very good news, the divorce rate among 50 plus is rising. I know none of us enter into marriage thinking our marriage will one day end. The good news is there's a lot we can do to nurture our marriages. And one of those things is to make sure we put our relationship with our spouse before our relationship with our children. We'll be giving ourselves the gift of a long, rewarding, loving life together, and be giving our children one of the greatest gifts we can give them, a mom and dad who love each other and love their kids too.